What is going on, lunatics? Guys, you may have heard something about a short squeeze and a gigantic price move coming. You may have been looking at some charts. You may have been feeling that there's something going on. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at the price action. There's some governance that just came out, so all validators have to update to 1.1.0 within the next 48 hours, or they will no longer be supported. But this is not financial advice. I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleeves.
All right, guys, as you can see right here, we've had a little bit of an uptick in price action over the last few hours. Now, I'm on an hour chart right now. You can see here that the MACD money flow started to move to the positive about 4 hours ago. I think we're going to mint probably some green right here. The market has made a very swift sort of correction in the last little while. And if we zoom in just a little bit more, you can see that the RSI is about to cross over the signal line, which would indicate that we are probably due for a bit of a pump right now. And that pump will correlate with the market as opposed to against the market, because the market has pumped up in the last couple of hours about $10 billion in capital, which means there's a run on Bitcoin, there's a run on Ethereum. It looks like the American market might be a contributor instead of an obstacle for the next little while. So very good thing happening here. But listen, you've had some people out here that have been talking to you about a short squeeze, and they're telling you that, you know, there's something big that might be at play right here. And I really want to give you a pattern here, and I want you guys, because you deserve to know what's really happening on a chart and not just some kind of crazy stuff that somebody's throwing out there at you to tell you, hey, you should buy more, right? And what you are seeing right now is the most likely scenario is this kind of play out right here. Now, you might call that a wedge, and you might make an argument here that, well, that's kind of a wedge pattern playing out, but really it is most probably playing out in this direction. Now, if that plays out to this direction and it plays out like this, then the chances are it's probably falling down, because it's going lower, lower, lower. It's not going to break to this upside. It's going to break to this downside, because that's the easier path every single time on this pattern formation. So then the question becomes, well, where does it go from there? And the answer to that is going to be right around 15,277. As you can see with this wicking over here, a little bit over here, this is kind of a level of support. You might want to call it 1550 just to be on the safe side, but that's exactly what it looks like. It doesn't look like there's some kind of breakout imminent. That is exactly what is playing out right now. Now, again, I'm saying that knowing that the MACD has flipped and it's about to go green, and I'm saying that knowing that the RSI is about to move over the signal line, making for at least another relatively good pump. But you got to ask yourself, like, in order to get to where the next big point of major resistance is, which is 2475, what do we need? Well, basically we need 50% more in the market than we have right now, with that being 957. So we're going to talk about 1.5 billion. Can we have 1.5 billion? Obviously, yes. We've had it there before, but is it going to maintain? The answer to that is no, it's not going to maintain, because we don't have a purpose yet. All we have is some improvements that have been made. And look, if you want to be frank, there's a whole lot of burn not happening right now that needs to happen in order to get here. Now, look, if you start to do the math on how much burn we've done over how much time we've had versus how much time we have left before there's a significant amount, before you can see just a realization of some kind of big move, the numbers are not good. The numbers are almost tragic at this point. The amount of burns happening right now, minimal. The fact that we see some of them, and hopefully in a couple days, Binance is going to announce billions of burns. Think about this just for a second here. Billions of burns is nothing. What is burns is about half of the supply. Now, if half of the supply, or almost 3.5 trillion, were to burn at one fell swoop, this price action would just go from 1628 to 3256. That's it. So we have to at least have a dose of reality about what's going on. And if we kind of take this over here and you look right here, you're seeing this wedge pattern is breaking out, and this resistance, this is acting as some serious resistance on this level right now. So if you're expecting a gigantic move to the upside, it's just not going to happen. right? We've broken out of the formation that would have given it to us. Now, let's go over to the day chart and let's see if something looks different on the day chart. Nothing really looks different on the day chart. Now, at one point, we had talked about this bottom channel, and as long as we stayed in this area, then we would continue to move up shortly. And, to be fair, if we had continued up this path, then yeah, we would probably sit around 2,400. So can we get there? Yes, we still can get there. But if we move contrary to the market, then the market has to dump again in order for that to happen, because that seems to be where the risk money is moving. Now, it is entirely possible because of market conditions that we do break to the upside, but the likely path is right down here into these levels. Hopefully we stick right here and then make a bounce going up, but it's also possible that we do this and mint another local low, which we did over here again, before making a bounce and a turn and a correction. In order for any of this to happen, we have got to see some kind of announcement from the development team of some sort of support activity, life. It's what we need. Now, if we get that, then all of this changes. But for right now, we're going to be lucky to get to 2473. Call it 2,500. We're going to be lucky to get to 2,500. That would represent a $1.5 billion market cap. Now, does that change my outlook? No, because this was a long-term play to begin with. I threw 10 million at it, and we're just going to sit on it, and we're just going to hold and see what happens. In the meantime, I'm using the opportunities of pumps and dumps between USTC and Luna Classic to accumulate more, and I have 12 million now. So I've accumulated 20% more, 40%. I've accumulated 40% more or 20% more than when I started with. And I don't do this actively because this is not where I make money, but I did want to make sure that I had as much as possible without throwing more capital at it, just to see how this thing played out. But let me know what you're doing in the comments down below. That was my idea. That's my plan. It's what I've been doing. This is what I see. I see it's more likely that we're playing out to about 15 than we are to 24. But if we can get back into the channel, which I called the bottom channel on my screen that you saw right here, if we get back into this channel, then it will cause a move to the upside. But here's the thing. Any kind of upward facing channel, guys, the reality is it breaks to the downside because the price is pumping, and it can only pump for so long before it starts to dump again. So, but again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is not financial advice. My name's Bleeves. I am always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish I had better news for you, but hey, guess what? We're here for the long term, so there's going to be better days ahead. There's going to be a lot of better days ahead for the Luna Classic ecosystem, and we will talk to you again very, very soon.
For the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining